Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. Before we get started, I want to be sure and remember to say, please subscribe. You'll be notified every time a new video comes out. It doesn't cost you anything. So, like the sign says, please subscribe. Okay, we got that covered. Now, we've got two videos done on this four-speed transmission as far as disassembling it is concerned. And quite honestly, the further I get into it, the worse it looks. You get to a point where you say, let's see, this case has seen better days, these gears have seen better days. We may very well end up replacing this whole transmission. If we have to do that, I'm thinking quite possibly I'll still finish the assembly just for the purpose of the videos. Okay, so in the last two videos, first we stripped the transmission down for repair, and then we removed the forks, the counter gear, and now we're down to the main shaft. Now, I have a tendency to put things back on when I'm halfway through to hold some things in place. So, actually, we've already taken this loose, which is, I'll move this around so Mike can get it in the video. Now this is the special super sprocket nut, wrench for removing the sprocket nut. I think we've shown that in other videos anyway. You know what? I'm going to leave it on for... Am I? Am I not? Yeah, I am. I'm going to leave it on for a while. We'll just put it right back on there. Now we're going to need to remove the kickstart gears. Let's see if I can get a good shot of those. Some of this stuff I've already gone through and loosened up. And if I were doing this, I would do it with the impact wrench. I have a puller here, which I've already used. Just a normal gear puller. This one is slightly older than God. And I've had it a long time, and it was old when I got it. It's really a neat puller, and I've used it for taking kicker gears off and a lot of other things. But that's how you get those gears to pop off the main shaft. Yeah, take that kind of slow so it gets into focus. Okay, so now the kicker gears are off. I also have a tendency to stack things. If I stack them, then I know I've got a complete set all ready to go when I want it. All right, let me get some kind of a rag here. Okay, the next thing is this plate that holds the ball bearing in. Now for that, I use a hand impact driver, hit it with a hammer, and these screws come out. I've already loosened them up, so we can take them out now. And like I said, there's a whole lot of inspection that takes place. And you know, when you get to the point where 2 or 3 gears are bad and the main shafts are worn, you're ready for a set of gears because the prices stack up so quickly that sometimes you're money ahead to buy a whole new gear set. In this particular situation here, this case has been broken and welded so many times, and that's certainly not to criticize repairing a case, and certainly not this one, because whoever did it did a good job. But this thing's been broken in pieces. So how much money should we spend on an old transmission when it gets to the point that you can buy a brand new one? New case, new gears, new everything. This little oil deflector here. Get that out of the way. And this big bearing plate is now out of the way. Now, many, many years ago, I was working on a transmission in the middle of the night, and I didn't have a socket deep enough to get this nut loose. So I called a buddy of mine in the middle of the night, and he made me this socket, which is 2 sockets welded together on the lathe, and it worked. I've done this with an impact already. That's why it's nice and loose. Okay. I think, now you can see here, the last guy did this with a hammer and a chisel. I've found that a lot of times. I'm sure somebody makes that socket now. Okay. So now, we're going to see about getting this main shaft out of here. And this may look very crude and rude, but only because it is. Now comes the worst part of the whole job. This is when I put my glasses on and get serious. Now, it's a little difficult to see in here. But there is a snap ring right in there. If anybody can see it, it's right there. Now that snap ring has to be moved on the shaft so that this gear can slide in this direction so that we can get the main shaft out. So here it goes. I have a couple little tools here that I use for this purpose. That one's not going to work. Going to have to use my old standard. And I'm going to fight with it for a few minutes just because it's that kind of a job. Going to move it a little bit. There it is. Now I think I can get this screwdriver in here. It's a little hard, but we'll do it. Let's see, let's get this screwdriver. Sorry if I'm moving it and you can't see it, but as soon as I get that snap ring loose, you can slide that gear over. Just walking all the way around it. And I lost it. Yeah, I sure did. So, we'll start over. And that's exactly how it happens. Somebody's car alarm just went off. Guess we needed some entertainment, huh? Now, as far as destroying this snap ring, really doesn't matter because you're going to replace it anyway. Fun stuff. There it is. See if I can turn it a little more and get in there with another right angle screwdriver. Yeah, I think we've got it now. Kind of a bear, but that's all right. It's the only hard part of it, other than my head getting in the way of the camera, I'm sure. Went right back on again. About got it destroyed now. That'll do it. If you destroy it, it'll just about fall out. And there it is. Not a problem, just destroy it. Okay. Now the reason we need to do that is now we can slide this gear all the way back. See, in the bottom of the case, let's see if we can see that. There's a boss that's cast into the case. And what that boss is for is a reverse idler gear. That one's not even machined, it's just cast in there. And a reverse idler gear is so you can have a reverse gear on your sidecar bike. So now we can slide this out, and around this bearing is a big shell that holds it, and we're going to have to get that out. But by holding this bearing up, we're not going to beat up the case knocking it out. like that. Well, it's almost out. Now this case, from all of its welding, could be a little distorted. We really don't know. But we're gonna knock that thing out of there. Actually, I think I'm gonna try this. And it's nearly out. And out it comes. Excuse me. And there it is. That wasn't the neatest way to do it, but by doing it in that manner, there's that bearing and its race. By doing it in that manner, we didn't beat up the case. And whether we're going to use this case or not, there's no reason to destroy it. Here is the main drive gear that is now slid out. And there is our complete main shaft, now officially out of the case. Now the reason we didn't pull the seal is because with everything out of the case, here's the spacer and the lock tab we were fighting with. Which, by the way, we won the battle, so it's all that matters. Without beating up the case. So there it is. This case has been repaired so much. Out of here, fly. It's been repaired so much, and it needs more repair now. So what I'd like to see a new case. And from looking this thing over, it's going to need a few gears. So I think what's actually going to happen to this transmission is the whole thing's going to be replaced. So we'll have to talk to the buddy that owns it and see what he wants to do. I will, however, put this transmission back together just for the purpose of demonstrating how. So that'll be part 4. So we will get into part 4 very soon. And until then, see you out on the road.